Alright, guys. Let me see here. I gotta shave, y'all. Alright. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? There isn't probably going to be very many people on today. A lot of people out for vacations and things like that, so y'all can watch it later. Hi, my name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Warpole J Gaming, and what we do here is listen to you talk. Today is Monday, beginning the new week. You know, a lot of people have a problem getting off the couch. So, you know, everybody calls this Motivation Monday, but nobody ever really gets motivated, do they? Just saying. So, you know, what I wanted to kind of discuss today is, creating walls, creating rules for yourself so that you don't get too stressed out, so you can get through your day a lot better. Problem is with this world is everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their own viewpoint, everybody has their own thing that they do. Okay? And whether they're right or you're right or whatever it is, it's irrelevant. You've got to create a boundary and rules for yourself, and then follow those rules. And then there's got to be a judgment. There's got to be like, okay, so what happens if you break the rules? Well, then I'm not going to talk to you until you have an understanding and have respect for my rules, or my rules for you, or your rules for yourself. You know, I try to do my best to you know, it depends on what kind of person you're talking to. You know what I mean? There's this thing that people do where when they think that they're right, they want to inundate you with it. I used to be guilty of sin of that, where problem with bipolar disorder and the extensions of the things that happen with bipolar disorder, like OCD and things like that, is when there's a problem with a one-track mind. Okay, that's what I call that. It's where basically I'm so focused on something. I would get so focused on something I wouldn't see the forest for the trees. You may be right in a situation, but read the room, right? A lot of people going into their holiday season, and you know, we're gonna have Thanksgiving in a week from Thursday, and a lot of people fear going to work during this time of year, or they fear going to their families. Why should you fear going to families? Well, because you got a lot of different personalities, and your family loves you, and their interests. Maybe they haven't seen you for a while, and they're going, "Oh, you're." I hope they don't pinch your cheeks though, like my family used to do. They used to always, when I was a boy. When I was a boy, I could count on a couple of things being said about me and Jacqueline. Oh, you've grown so much since the last time I seen you, or you know, things like that. Just because a lot of people from church that hadn't seen us in a while, they'd be excited about seeing us, or my family would be excited about seeing us, and they'd kind of embarrass us. And it's like, okay, you can't do nothing about it when you're a kid. When you're an adult, you can set rules. And it also applies for regardless of the holidays. Now, I'm talking about the holidays, but it's Monday. It's the beginning of your week. A lot of people dread Mondays because they dread, for example, their boss, or a person at work that annoys them, or a job they may have to do. There's all sorts of reasons why people don't want to get motivated on Monday, right? Well, here's the deal. You have to understand the rules here. If it's your boss, you're just going to kind of have to put up with it within reason. Unless they're being illegal or something, they're your boss. You have to respect them as your boss. Can they just annoy you all day? No, that's why you complain. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. Well, that was a big yawn. Wow. Yawns are like lack of oxygen, right? That means I'm dying. I'm just playing. Okay, I'm not gonna make that joke. But anyway, but a lot of people are afraid to go to work, right? Because they're afraid of a person that at work, not just their boss or something. Well, in that case, that's on you. That's not. You can't expect a person to read your mind. Just so you guys know, just as an FYI, Denise is having severe back problems, and she's been having to go to the clinic and get shots and things. So she's most likely asleep. So she probably won't be on my lives for a little bit until she gets a lot better. She's gonna have to go through. I hope she doesn't have to get surgery, but she's hurting really, really badly. So just so you guys know, if you don't see her on here in a while, she does watch my lives, but she's probably not going to be participating for a while. Just so you guys know. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. It's hard for me every day, okay, to get up a lot of times because I'm not a morning person. It's hard. It's part of the deal with. It's part of how I have to train my mind to deal with my issues. I don't take meds, okay? And even if I did, I would still be tired. I've never been a morning person. I just never, even when I was in school, I've never been a morning person. So I dread mornings anyway. But what I try to do, like, if you take a day-by-day basis, I have come up with a schedule with myself in which I can live my life and do what I need to do with my business, with all the stuff that I go through with my health issues now. And so the thing is, I try to follow those rules, and I try to stick to those rules. It's okay if every once in a while you break them, but then you have to get back on the horse, okay? When dealing with people, because, it's great to talk about me dealing with my mornings, but there's no one here. So how do I deal with people? That one was a hard one. Because first you have to learn how to trust. If you've been hurt a lot of times, like I have been hurt, it is hard for me to trust people. It's hard for me to talk to them and get to know them, because there's always this paranoia in the back of my mind. Not so much anymore, but back in the day, one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to meet new people is because there was always this paranoia in the back of my mind. What are they thinking about me? And for normal folks, you're like, well, who cares what they think about you? For a person with low self-esteem, it's everything. Do you understand? Dwan would never tell you this, and now I'm telling you this because he can't. Dwan would never tell you this, but he was paranoid about something too, and I helped get him over that. When he first got here, and I knew he was always self-conscious about his ability to walk. One second, guys. My computer screen is flashing and it's irritating me. Just 1 second. Good Lord. I don't know why it does that. No, I don't want what I want. Sports. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's gonna bother the crap out of me. It's just flashing in front of me. I hope you guys aren't affected by it. I don't think you guys are. Thank God it's not messed up the stream. In other words. Anyway, so back to Dwan. Okay. So when he first got here, I had gained a lot of confidence since the last time he had seen me. And I had really he was amazed by how much confidence I had, because I didn't have that kind of confidence around before, not to just talk to a bunch of people. Now, when you're on the streets, it's different. I had no choice but to walk up to people and ask people I didn't know for $1. You understand? There's a difference. That's desperation. That's not getting to know somebody. I'm talking about actually making a friend. Okay? How did that happen with Dwan? Well, because guess what? Me and Dwan were in the same situation. It was easy. Dwan is one of those kind of people, and he's personable on top of it. But we didn't get to know each other like we should have for all those years because of the homeless mentality. But what about a new person for me? What about when I first met Lori, I introduced myself to Lori. Lori doesn't know this, though. You see, Lori doesn't know my past like that. Lori doesn't know that that's something I worked on. That wasn't me. Going up to somebody and talking to somebody I didn't know? Talking to someone from Brazil named Denise? Are you serious? What the hell? I hope this isn't messing up my stream. I know one thing, it's messing up my eyeballs if it keeps happening. Just 1 second. Sorry, guys. My screen keeps flashing against me. Oh, hey, Denise. So the one thing that, like, everybody that meets me now, they see me now and they go, well, you have no problem with it now. I have no problem with it now because I worked my butt off to get here. So when Dwan walked in the door 4 years ago, what I first started to teach him is, I noticed that when he would walk, we would walk to the 7-Eleven to go get a pack of cigarettes or something, and I noticed that he had to stop a lot. The first thing I trained him to do was to use his disability, because he was weighing 450 pounds, y'all. He had to stop. He had to breathe. And again, he's had a heart problem for a long time. The first thing I told him, I said, look, Dwan, here's what you do. When you're walking with your cane, when you have to stop, don't stop like you're tired. That's the first thing I told him. I said, don't stop like you're tired. Stop like, I'm just stopping because I want to stop. Do it with confidence so nobody stares at you. Because I know he was self-conscious about that. He was self-conscious about people's, his arm, he couldn't feel it. He couldn't move. He couldn't use his left arm at all. Okay? So he would walk with his right cane, with his right arm, with his cane. And so what I told him, I said, when you have to stop, if you're so self-conscious about it, since I know you are, use it. Act like a badass. And he did it from then on. That's why when some of you guys met him, now Lori barely met him and Denise barely met him, but it looked like he had all the confidence in the world. It's because I taught him that trick. It's a trick. It was a trick to build his confidence. It was because I knew he had a problem in his mind when people looked at him. That he always wanted to be normal, y'all. Well, he wasn't. Unfortunately, that's not a gift God gave him. What God did give him is a personality. It's not that women couldn't love him. It's not that people didn't want to care for him. It's that he was very slow when he walked, and it's hard to walk with him. Even Sophia had to get used to it. And so I taught him to walk like it ain't nothing. And so that's why when you would see, if you saw him walk now, before he passed away, that's why he walked like that. Before he ever lost weight. Because I knew his weight bothered him. I knew his, I wish that you guys could have seen him work on this. And I used to walk with him all the time on this stuff, okay? It's those sorts of things that prevent people from wanting to talk to other people. Now, for Dwan and his personality, I was disabled in my emotional disorder. I was disabled in my mind. Me and Dwan had these conversations all the time when we would talk to each other. And one of the things that we realized about me and him is he was the physical representation of what I am in my mind. Just like he didn't want people to look at him, I didn't want people to talk to me because I was so afraid of what people would think about my personality. So me and Dwan were rowing in the same boat. We were just rowing in different ways. And we never knew it for all those years. That's why we were such brothers to each other, because he understood that people can see his disorder, people can't see mine. I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain my actions to people and people don't understand it. Dwan never had to explain his actions. People saw it and thought he was retarded. And he realized that while you can't see my problems are there. And that's why mental illness is such a hard thing for people to understand. Because you can't see. In other words, just like Dwan walked funny and had cerebral palsy and he didn't necessarily learn from books like that. He learned from action. That's why when I would talk to him and tell him stories and teach him about history, he could learn from me and not from books. That's where his cognitive disability, that's where it really affected him, is when he would understand, when he would read and understand words. But he loved it when I told stories. He could listen to me for 6 hours. Well, that's why me and him hit it off from the very beginning. But what about other people? That's great that I was homeless with Dwan and I met Dwan and we were friends for 25 years. Great. Good job. Well, then I will have no more friends? No, I've met friends since Dwan. But I had to work on that. But you have to state lines. In other words, Dwan and I were so close that there's almost no lines he could cross. But he wouldn't have tried to anyway. And I wouldn't have tried to cross the lines with him. But it is still, to this day, a scary thing for me to meet new people. To this day. Like, whenever I meet you, I am a great actor. I can put on a good face and I can play the part. But be not mistaken, in my mind, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, what are you thinking about what I'm saying? Why do you think it? I use these videos as an example of going outside your box for me. It's not just going outside your box, it's going outside of my own personality. Because I was so shy, I was so introverted, I was so, had such a low self-esteem before, that there's zero chance I could have gotten in here. It wasn't just like a matter of even just the low self-esteem part of it. The idea of getting on here in front of people that I do not know and talking about the stuff that I do, it's old hat now for me. I do it now because I know I'm good at it and I've gained confidence in it. But that's not the case when I first started this. I wish Dwan was here right now. He could tell you how long it took me to get on the camera the first time. So people fear things at work like that. Didn't think I would get back to it? That's what this whole thing was about. That's great for some people to just be able to get up on Mondays and go to work. But just because someone puts on a certain face to you at your job doesn't mean they're excited about being there or they're even confident about being there. They may put... Did you know that arrogance, actual arrogance, not being accused of being good at something, but someone who accuses you of being good at something, of being too good at something or whatever it is jealous, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who is arrogant, someone who isn't good at something, who brags about being good at something and is good at everything, even though you know for a fact that they're not good at hardly anything. But they brag about everything that they're good at. You know people like this. Did you know that is the highest form of covering up a low self-esteem? People that are like that usually have a low self-esteem. That's the face they're putting on the mask for you. That in their heart, they have to put on this bold, out there face that is ridiculous, because if they show you their true face, you might not like them. That's psychology 101. So just because a person may be arrogant to you doesn't mean they don't have issues. They probably have big issues. You know what I mean? And think on that. So today, when you go to work and you see one of your coworkers and they're arrogant and they're prickish and they're all the, do you ever think about? Do you ever just sit back and just watch somebody like that? I do. I had a lot of time on the streets. Where you know that they aren't good at it, that they're just bragging to their friends because they want to be part of something. No one wants to be alone. Unfortunately, a lot of people think by being like their friends instead of being themselves, that their friends won't accept them. So going to work, it's Monday. People go to work today. Some people work the night shift and stuff. Some people are just now going to work. You think just because they've worked a job for 10 years, ask them how many people they've actually got to know at their work, that they've actually invited over to their house. Then you go, well, I don't mix work with my personal life. Where's your personal life then? If you don't have a personal life, if you sit in your house all day long, okay, and that's your idea of a life, and you think that that's your friends at work, that's not your friends at work. It's one thing I had to teach Sophia. Sophia has a friend named Poppy. She's cool as hell. And they go out all the time now. Okay? She's been over to her house and everything else. They've been over to the casino and everything. I'm glad Sophia met her. Because Sophia was like that. Sophia would just go back, watch one of her Netflix shows or whatever it is, and she had her people at work, but she never had friends outside of work. She never had people she talked to. So even Lori can claim that she has me because she can come out and talk to me. I'm her friend. No, Lori's never going to be a person to just go out. First of all, she's hurting all the time stuff, and so I'm understanding of that. But Sophia didn't even have that. Sophia had me, but then she was mostly taking care of me at first. Well, I kept telling Sophia, you need to go out. You need to meet another woman and go out. I kept telling her this for a long time. It took her a long time to get through her head. But Sophia she had her problems too when I first met her. I'm not going to get into them. But a lot of it was low self-esteem too. And now Sophia goes out with her friends all the time. She's got a couple people from her work that are really good people that she hangs out with sometimes. Especially Poppy. And Poppy has this yellow Corvette. She's a country girl. And she has this yellow Corvette. They got farm animals and everything. Sophia stayed at her house a couple weeks ago. It's pretty cool. Sophia comes home with stories all the time from work that Poppy tells about how sometimes her chickens died or her little ducks died or something. They got all sorts of animals there. Yeah, but Poppy owns a Corvette from her previous career before her nursing, her second career, as you would say it. So Poppy's been her too. So her and Poppy talk about all sorts of things. And Poppy was just as concerned about me when everything happened with Dwan and all that stuff, and then when I went to the hospital, and so forth and so on. But that's not my friend. Poppy's not my friend. That's Sophia's friend. I can't claim that's my friend. Lori's my friend. Lori's more of a friend to me. I'm more friends with Lori than Sophia is friends with Lori. I'm friends with Denise. I'm more friends with Denise than Sophia's friends with Denise. You understand what I'm trying to say? Everybody's got their own separate people that they prefer to hang with, that they prefer to communicate with, that they trust. I trust these people. I trust my people. Y'all think that's easy for me to say. Well, let me enlighten you. It ain't. I don't even have enough time on a live video to tell you how much I had to work on trusting people. One of the reasons why I'm on SSI is because I am not able to go to work and be under that condition and not have a moment, because I will have a bad moment. And that sounds crazy to normal folk. It sounds, no, really. The second the doctor saw me, knew I wasn't going to be able to work a job, not with the status. Now, would it be possible for me to get a job now? I suppose, possibly. I mean, it is years later. However, I have no job qualifications now. No, I'm fine doing this. I'm just fine doing this. That's why I want to do. That's why this business is important to me too, because I'm in a perfect work environment. Because I'm in control over my own life. I don't have a boss lording over me. And that's the problem with having PTSD. I can't have people over me like that. I can't have people pressing me like that. And that's part of a line I had to draw. It's a line I had to draw. Everyone's got a line they have to draw on themselves. Denise has got hers. Lori's got hers. Tanya's got hers. And everybody's got their own lines. So that if you cross this line, there's going to be hell to pay. And you have to draw that line and then enforce it. You can't go, okay, you broke my rules. It's okay. And then you want people to respect you. You're not going to have anybody respect you. Okay? You're just not. People will run over you. I was run over for years because I didn't respect myself. And that's where it really comes from. It comes from respecting yourself. When you go to work, you might not like your job. If you don't like I'm going to tell you now, if you don't like your boss, you're going to have to get a new job, because your boss is your boss. They're in that position. You're not. You're not the boss. However, you try to find a combination over time. Maybe you get to know somebody. Maybe your boss is. You ever this is one thing that Sophia comes to me every day after her work, and she'll tell me about a problem. And I've helped her over the years with stuff like this, where someone she's having a problem with at work, she'll come home. She'll talk to me about it, and I'll tell her, "Did you ever consider the possibility that person was having a bad day?" And it never dawned on her at first. She always would do that. And she'd be like, "Oh, I never thought about it." I said, "Did you ever consider the possibility of their culture?" Like she works with a lot of Indian women. And their husbands are oppressive to them a lot. Especially if they're from India. Now, I don't mean if they lived there for a while, but I mean if they're actually from India and they started working here. This may be the first job they've ever had. And more than that, this may be the first job in which they're an authority. And it would also be inclined to, if you don't understand that culture, women aren't given authority in their families. They're not given equalness in their families over there. I'm sorry to tell you that. Men rule that family. Well, the second that woman walks out of that house, she now has free reign. So what happens is the abuse cycle happens. Maybe her home life ain't too good, with that situation. And she leaves the home. Now she's the boss, and now she's going to abuse all of her underlings. That happens a lot. And you have to be understanding. Does that mean that person's right? Of course not. But like I said, unless you're in charge, you don't get to tell the boss what to do. Or you are going to find a new job, because you'll just get fired or replaced. Now, thank God for Sophia. VA doesn't fire people, ever. U.S. government, they don't fire people. But just as a line of thinking, when you guys, it's nighttime, so many people have already come home. But some people are still going to be going to work for the night shift and things like that. Just be aware of that at work. That if there's something at your job that you feel like is not something you don't want to do. How do I say it? If there's something at your job that is something that is really bothering me, you're going to have to talk to somebody. You have to either find a new job and a whole new job, or find a different position to work at, or whatever it may be, or you have to draw lines. And if that lines is not going to work for the boss, then you're going to have to find a new job. Unless you are in charge, that's what I love about this. I can do whatever I want. This is my world, and I'm God. Which means that I control what I do on the graphics. I control what I do on the video cameras. Whenever I'm able to hire somebody, it will be because I know exactly what I need them to do. I will need them to do this or that or whatever it is, and I will tell them, this is what I need you to do. Can you do that? I'll pay you for that. That's simple as that. Until I get too old to do this. And then someone else can start running it for me. And I can be the owner, just the owner. But right now, I'm the boss. I'm my own boss. I have to do everything myself. But if you think that means I don't have lines in my own business, I do. I learned this through video gaming. It's just a little trick, something for anybody who does video gaming. It's just something you might want to think about learning. Just something to help you. Something good practice, good way to practice so you're not offending everyone. I used to create rules for myself when I would play video games. Okay? If I was playing Assassin's Creed, I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do it this way. I wanted to do it exactly in this manner. And it didn't count as a win unless I did it exactly like I just said I was going to do it. And I practiced this for a long time. This mind frame where when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that might be simple for some of y'all, but it isn't for a person with mental illness. So trust me, this took practice. Discipline. Absolute discipline in my life, because I have to. So when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Will I make mistakes? Of course, I'm a human being. Just like the smoking cigarettes. Do you think because I might have a cigarette or two still that I'm not trying to stop smoking? Boy, you don't know me at all then. Create rules for yourself and then don't break them. Not just the rules for other people, but rules for yourself. Discipline yourself. So that when you go in to work every day, you are confident and you know, well, I don't break my own rules for myself, so well, you definitely don't have the right to violate my rules. If anybody has a right to violate my rules, I have a right to violate my rules. And that way you can confidently look at the person and say, nuh-uh, don't do that. And when they break the rule, say, look, I asked you not to do that. Don't do it. Okay? Or there's going to be consequences. Maybe I won't talk to you for a little bit. Maybe, if the rules get bad enough, like with Anna, she's not on here for a reason. I could care less if she ever watches a video of mine again. When you continue to do the same things over and over again, and then say out of your side of your mouth that you support what I'm doing, you don't support what I'm doing, you support what you're doing. And continually lying up to yourself, because you don't really. Your Christianity won't allow you to support what I do. Simple as that. And so you have to have rules for yourself. Y'all know that I had a falling out with Andrea. It's fine now. We talk now. But it's not like it was. She got mad at me, and I got mad at her, and I didn't talk to her for a couple months. I'm like that. And Andrea, I've known since she was in 3rd grade. Okay? It doesn't matter how close I am to you. You don't get to violate those rules. Dwan, there wasn't anything that we couldn't be open with each other. And he's a rare person. I don't expect everybody to be like Dwan. Y'all are never going to be like him. No offense. I don't think I will ever meet somebody like that. But he had such an impact on my life that now I can spread what he wanted to y'all. the best way I can. I'm not Dwan. I can't do some of the things he can do. But I can do what he would want me to do, which is be Daryl and be the confident Daryl that he believed in so much. And so that's what I am for y'all. But I have rules. Be not mistaken. Y'all don't get to talk to me like Dwan. No one outside of Sophia will ever get to talk to me like Dwan talked to me. He the way we worded one another sometimes, no one else is going to get that privilege. Sorry, that's just 25 years of friendship and all the stuff that we went through. But you got to create rules. So think about that, guys. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Because, it's not just, not just for Thanksgiving dinner, not just for Christmas dinner that everybody's fearing. People fear to go to work. They fear this time of the year, especially if you're feeling nasty. Like a lot of people that are going through winter depression feel nasty. They don't feel good inside. They don't feel like, and the first thing you don't want to hear is Merry Christmas. You don't want to hear Merry Christmas when you're depressed. You don't. I know everybody thinks you might want to, but you don't. When you're in a dark place, that is the last thing you want to do. But everybody's all happy at the office. You have to let people know that you're going through a bad time, that I'm just not in the mood. And if they call you a bah humbug, let them call you a bah humbug. I don't know why people are like that. I think it's wrong when people are like that. But you just try to explain to people that this is why this is an offense to me, and this is why this is an offense to me. And if they cross it again, don't talk to them. You cannot be around people who will continually violate what you need to be done for your own health, for your own mental health specifically. And this is a hard time for some people. This is not the easiest time this year for me, clearly, and not for Sophia either. But I mean, Sophia's enjoying her family, and I'm trying to keep busy with work and kind of trying to get these videos out, and it is amazing to me how many people disrespect people because they think that somehow they can. You can't allow that around you. Okay. Sorry, I just yawned again. Yeah. I am having a lack of oxygen or something. Anyway, whatever. So, that being said, let me take a drink. I hope that you guys have a wonderful night's sleep. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Try to get through your week the best way you can. Carry your ingredients, follow your steps. And remember, like I said, Denise is in a lot of pain. She's on right now. So we're praying for your back, Denise. We're praying for you to get better. I'm praying for you. I hope you do get better. Just try to keep us updated so we know. We don't like to worry. You're 4,000 or 5,000 miles away. You're 5,000 miles away. That's a long ways away. You can't just go check up on you. We all are concerned about that. But behave yourself. Be safe when you're traveling. You never know what happens. Be safe when you get there. Watch everything. Be aware of everything, the good and the bad, because you can learn from both. Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. But as I said, be understanding of yourself. Be understanding of yourself, and that you have limits. You have lines. You have to keep those lines. You have to be the one to keep them. I can't keep those lines for you. I have to keep the lines for Daryl. Sometimes those lines bump and we cross each other and just kind of walk away, and hopefully the next day will be better. It happens. You're not gonna go without. You're not gonna go through life without strife sometimes. So be understanding of yourself. Remember, life is fleeting. You're not promised your next breath. So take now. Go outside your box. Learn something new. You never know what you might learn about yourself. And until Wednesday, may the Lord light guide you in all things. Goodbye.